In the summary, you say that the blockade greatly disrupted everyday life for Coutts residents. Could you maybe explain to us in what ways?
I have done a mental survey, and I think I had about a 70-30 split in the village, the 30 on my side and the 70 supporting the protest, regardless of what it meant. We still have neighbors that won't talk to each other because of the protest. They didn't get out and do. We had a lot of sympathetic people in the village who figured it was our duty to feed everybody. If they need a room, give them a room.
Did you observe any violence or harassment during the protest?
Never did, no.
Did you yourself receive any threats?
Yes, I got one death threat online, Facebook. Serious enough that the RCMP took it seriously. I'm not sure how good a threat it was because it was sent from a personal page.
You also had a phone call with the Premier?
I did.
And at no time did you make requests for specific supports or assistance from the province?
I think when I talked to the Premier, we talked more in generalities. As I said earlier, he was kind of caught in a pinch point between darned if I do and darned if I don't. We talked about that. He talked about the fact that he could only do so much because of the lack of surge capacity in the hospitals. He mentioned that he was going to be talking to governors in the northern states to see if they would put pressure on that side, because even if we did get rid of the provincial mandates, the federal mandates still sat there, and that was the thing that triggered the whole deal in the first place. So, no, it was more a generality thing. The situation that happened there were a lot of people that said that I was against the protest. And I wanted to make it perfectly clear, I was never against the protest. You have that freedom, that right to protest anytime you want, as long as you don't break the law and interfere with my right to travel and so on. I mean, in a way, I participated in their protest because along with the other border mayors, we communicated with the federal government saying this is not right to treat these guys after the 2 years as if they've suddenly become pariahs or something. Knew from what I was reading in social media that there were other groups coming and joining up. At that time, I naively believed that it was all about the mandates that had been put on. Well, I thought that it had to do with cross-border truckers having their permissions removed. For 2 years, they'd been traveling back and forth, exempt from vaccination requirements and so on. And just when things were starting to loosen up, I mentioned the 18th, people are starting to go across and everybody's getting a more normal feel. Suddenly, the federal governments in both Canada and the US decided that you no longer have an exemption, you're going to have to be vaccinated. And I think that was a tipping point. So I thought everybody was coming for that purpose.
And what's the vibe you get or the interactions you have with your residents with respect to their support or lack of support for the federal government as it currently is composed?
Well, I'll quote my CAO, Trudeau hates us. And that's basically, you could talk to anybody there. There's a great dislike for the federal government on a
Okay.
high percentage.
And what is these dislikes? What are they about? What are these people's grievances in your residence and in that area?
Smarter minds than me have tried to figure it out. I really don't understand the great dislike for the federal government.
When you were talking about your discussion with Mr. Evans about the arrests on the 14th, I think you kind of trailed off a bit under your breath and said something about the weapons were all fake, something like that. Is that something Mr. Evans told you?
I believe he mentioned that there was a rumor they had been planted, even at that early date. And then I know that YouTube video I saw of Mr. Van Herk, where he also said he didn't believe that they were real, but they were going to, that was what was being said, so it was what happened.
Freedom in the year 2022, for me, folks, it means the return of Rebel Live. Now, Rebel Live is an annual event we used to put on before the man, or was it the COVID Karen, made us shut it down during the pandemic years. It is a freedom fun fest, if you will. All the freedom fighters you've grown to know and love over the years, they're going to be speaking at the Toronto and Calgary events. The Toronto event is on November 19th. That's a Saturday, and it will feature the likes of Dr. Julie Ponesse, Archer Pawlowski, Tamara Leach, and all your favorite rebels, including yours truly. I'll be the MC that day, Sheila Gunn Reid, and of course, the big boss man himself, Ezra Levant. Now Saturday, November the 26th, we're bringing Rebel Live to Calgary, and those aforementioned speakers will be there, and Sheila will be the MC for that event. You don't want to miss it. It's an all-day freedom fest. I know there are certain would-be conservative leaders that think freedom is overrated. You know, we don't think that way. I don't think you think that way. So if you want to get a ticket, and please go to the website. They are going fast. Go to rebelnewslive.com. That's rebelnewslive.com. Get your orders in, and as Billy Red Lions used to say, folks, don't you dare miss it.
Don't you dare miss this one.